to hear some highlights from your group discussions. So we're just going to lift up one thing, and each of the facilitators is going to just take one thing that came from your group that you all wanted to share. So since I'm on the screen and talking, I can go ahead and share from our group. We were group number 3, I think. And the thing that we talked about that the group wanted to kind of lift up is the answer to number 2. So how can we bring this framework to leadership in our agencies? And really just talked about how we can embed it in the practices and the policies and the procedures that are already happening. So first of all, kind of talked about, well, leadership needs to know about it, needs to know it's a thing. And so giving them the information and training that they need. And then just really figuring out how do you take pieces of it and embed it into those policies and practices and procedures that are already happening. So I don't know if anybody in my group wants to say anything else. You can feel free. Otherwise, we will. And I don't know how we want to go through this. Do we want to go to just group number 1? All right, group number 1. Does everybody remember?
That was Alyssa.
No, actually, they kind of got mixed up. I wrote them down, so I believe that was Ryan.
Okay. Oh, Ryan was ready.
Sorry. Half ready. I was like, wait, which room was that? Because I switched a few times, so I couldn't remember. So we talked a lot about really the need for like a quick guide or checklist or video to really get people started when introducing this and like selling it to case managers and other people, and that might lead to further involvement. Anyone else in the group that wanted to kind of build on that?
All right, we will go to room number 2. And Emily, do you have the list of them, or maybe you want to call people up?
Yep, list number 2 is Lindsay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So our group, thank you for our awesome discussion. I really appreciate the honesty. And what we wanted to lift up is everybody really has good intentions and sees the benefits of using the toolkit and the framework. It's really around trying to find the time to support it and really dive in deeper to learn what's all in there. And wondering of, maybe that's having more time together, or guided time was the specific phrase that was used, to have that ability to dive deeper in and see what's in there, because everybody has those intentions to use it. It's just everyone's plates are spilling. Well, thanks, group.
Group 3 was Beth.
And I did mine. So who's group 4?
That's me. I am group 4. This is Barb. I asked the group, and they suggested one idea that they really liked and would like to kind of think about some more, is for teams to assign out, to have a process and kind of some assignments of who is going to do which part of this work. So one team that was represented there had done this, where they said, like, you case manager, you do the 1-page profile, you VR person do the setting up the MyVault, and so on. And I may have goofed up who did what, but that was the general idea. And so if there would be a way to help teams figure out how to do that easily and just work in that way.
Thanks.
Group 5 is Renee.
Thanks, Emily. Hi, everybody. This is Renee. We discussed sort of, I don't know, for me, it was a little bit unexpected. Maybe it won't be surprising to any of you, but the idea that there's a need to create messages or strategies to bring parents along. that even if professionals or teachers or other people on a student's in the student support system are true believers in planning and using the framework, using the toolkit, really communicating the urgency of planning and looking ahead to parents who might be very preoccupied with the needs that are right in front of them right now. And we talked about some strategies to sort of get VR professionals or employment service providers or other folks literally in front of parents and creating that awareness in live and in-person ways and getting them thinking about, oh, we should be thinking about this now because there are some real concrete benefits down the road.
Group 6 was Anne.
This is Anne. We had some of the same thoughts that everyone's having about, integrating it, making it just natural to the process, and then it doesn't feel like it's an add-on or doing. We also had a lot around, delegating the different pieces out so that as a team, people would be responsible for different things, but it would all come together to really drive transition. And then one thing that I'm trying to think of differently is that people were just bringing forth this, even using My Best Life in the IEP somehow. If we could influence that, that would make a huge difference on kind of setting the tone and what is trying to be achieved. So, so there was that, and a lot of interest in just curriculum. How do you take this and turn it into curriculum? So what is the guidance that could be given so we could turn it into curriculum for people to use it more formally? So that's a lot, but I'll stop there.
Group 7 was Alyssa.
All right, hi everybody. Oops, I'm really dark. Our team too wanted to report out that we really felt that we need to dig in more with families, and some really good examples of one family not supporting work for their child because they needed to focus on school, and now they're getting through school and they've never worked. And so and another case where concern about the vulnerability of their child, so they've never learned public transportation. So how do we start when they're young and get the family to slowly move into that together with the whole team and their child to be able to try things so that by the time they graduate, those things will have been done. So I love that. And then there's also a discussion, which Lindsay will love this. It's like a full circle moment for me, because when Lindsay and I were first talking about envisioning this framework, we started with this discussion about needing a scope and sequence. And then we kind of went away from scope and sequence because we thought it would be a little too prescriptive. But now there's this need for schools, at least that's what was discussed on our team, on how do you take this and create a scope and sequence. I thought that was beautiful because, maybe there's some things we could do in ECBC, even though we wouldn't say here is the scope and sequence, because we know it can be individualized for each school and school district, as well as for each student. That's the piece of this. We want to be really individualized, but how can we support each other in creating our own scope and sequence and sharing that? So that's all I have.
And the last group is Cassie.
So I think, in our group, there was a lot of expression of hope of what the framework and toolkit could be, like this hope that it could help build this collaboration across agencies, and kind of hoping to see that that's what we could have, whether that be, obviously using the vault as uploading all the documents to share between, different agencies, as well as potentially like utilizing it in a messaging system to bypass some of those like different agency requirements on what they can utilize. So if we have state agencies that can't use Google, can they utilize the hub to send messages back and forth as well, and include those students and families and those kinds of things as well as just making sure that everybody is aware of it so that they can build that collaboration and teamwork amongst an ever-changing multitude of staff that come in and out with turnover and things like that. So does anybody wants to add anything from my group? I feel like that was really a large gist of our conversation.
Great. Well, thank you all. It was really, I loved that discussion. We had a good discussion in our group. So thanks for sharing, and we'll take that all back and come back next year better than ever. All right. If we want to go back to the PowerPoint. Thank you. And we're going to transition into some next steps. We're wrapping up, and Lindsay is going to lead us into the next section.
Okay, thank you. All right, so next slide here. We just wanted to reiterate to enter that data. Remember, we only need 65 more students who have obtained competitive integrated employment this year. So you have through the end of this month, and as Nancy pointed out, technically you have through the end of June. But the faster you get it in, it's one less thing you have to worry about. I know the end of the year gets super crazy. So enter that data in. And aside from that data, we just cannot thank you enough. You guys have worked really hard. It's always so fun to see your involvement, one, in ECBC, and to see things evolve in your community teams and hear all of the things that you guys are doing. We are so proud of all of you, and it's fun to see things continue. We get to evolve together, and that's one of the beauties of ECBC, all of our roles. And I think we heard that too today in some of our feedback of how do our roles all really come together, and we get to figure that out here with you guys. And this is my last ECBC, so I just wanted to thank you guys. I will cherish all of you. Been a part, ECBC, I feel like is where it's at. You guys have a role in everything, and being a part of ECBC, you get to be a part of what we get to do and change and impact in Minnesota. So thank you, and stay in touch, and hopefully this is just a see you later. And thank you guys. And so now you guys can go and meet into your teams if that's what you still have planned. Beth, you're gonna, did I miss something?
We did, yes. I think one thing we forgot to ask is so during the summer, we are going to be doing more on the toolkit and on the framework. And if you are willing to have us contact you this summer, we would love to know that. If you want to put your, I don't know the best way to do this, you guys.
Do you want me to put the spreadsheet in the chat? Oh, it is in the chat.
Okay.
We did it in our small group.
We did it in ours too.
We didn't in mine, and
Okay.
another person said they didn't. I think we didn't. I get distracted. Sorry. So if you didn't say if it was okay to contact you, then go ahead and click on the document in the chat and let us know. And Lindsay, yes, this will be see you later. Thank you for all your help and your support through the years. And all right, everybody have a great summer. I know the countdown is on to the last day of school, huh? Sounds good. Thank you all so much.